Welcome to the Get Wisdom podcast.
Uh-huh.
For you folks looking for a new way to do life, maybe figure out how to get unstuck in, any area of life, or just need a fresh perspective on your current circumstances.
Yeah, we all hit those points.
Exactly. We are here to assist you with all of these things. You can always check us out at www.getwisdom.cc.
That's www.getwisdom.cc.
I'm Miranda, and I'm just thrilled you're here with us today.
And I'm Jay, and we'll be taking you through a really powerful white paper today by Brent Zeman. Our goal really is to provide you with actionable insights.
Things you can actually use.
Right, that you can implement immediately, not just theory.
So, have you ever felt like you're caught in a loop? Making the same mistakes over and over, maybe, or just not quite sure why certain outcomes keep happening in your life or work?
That feeling of being stuck, yeah.
What if there was a way to truly understand the engine driving your decisions and, even better, shape it for lasting success?
That's the key part, shaping it.
Today, we're diving into a powerful concept, self-awareness, but through this incredibly practical lens of a compelling white paper by Brent Zeman of Get Wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission for you today is to unpack this idea of self-awareness, not as some, vague, abstract thing.
Not just a buzzword.
Exactly. But as a practical, hands-on operating system for your life. We're going to give you concrete tools and frameworks to turn reflection into brave, effective action, helping you understand what's truly important in these insights.
Actionable reflection.
We're drawing our insights specifically from Brent Zeman's Unlocking the Power of Self-Awareness for Lasting Success, a white paper that frames self-awareness as basically the foundational layer for every single decision you make.
And what's truly fascinating here, Miranda, and what really sets this paper apart in my view, is how it elevates self-awareness. It moves it from what people often think of as a soft skill, something nice to have.
Right, like an optional extra.
Exactly, to a fundamental operating system for your entire life. It's not just about knowing yourself introspectively, sitting around thinking. It's about making that knowledge incredibly actionable.
Okay.
Providing a clear, structured pathway to navigate decisions, break free from those unhelpful patterns, and actually achieve consistent, tangible results.
Tangible results. I like that.
Yeah, and the paper's core philosophy, it's captured in this maxim that I find incredibly potent. Think less about personality. Ship more evidence.
Ooh, okay, say more about that. Ship more evidence.
Right. It immediately signals a pragmatic, results-oriented approach. It shifts the focus from maybe endless introspection for its own sake.
Just thinking about thinking?
Yeah, to introspection that directly drives tangible output and observable, measurable change in your life. It's about doing, not just knowing. It challenges us to look beyond static labels like, I'm just this type of person, and focus on what we actually produce and change.
Ship more evidence.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant way to frame it. It cuts right to the heart of what genuine impact means, doesn't it? Results over just labels. Precisely.
So, okay, let's unpack this idea then. Self-awareness as an operating system. It sounds powerful, almost like, software you'd install.
Right, like booting up your computer.
Yeah. But what does that really mean for our daily lives beyond just a powerful metaphor? How does it work?
That's a great question, because it really does move from metaphor to practical application pretty quickly. When we talk about self-awareness as an operating system, Brent Zeman's white paper positions it as the operating system underneath every decision you make.
Underneath every decision.
Every single one. Think about your computer, right? The OS is the core software managing everything, hardware, other software. Without it, nothing else really works effectively.
Right, it all falls apart or just runs poorly.
Exactly. Similarly, self-awareness is presented as this foundational layer for all your actions, your choices, your reactions. It dictates how everything else functions. It's not just a slogan. It's like the fundamental architecture of your personal effectiveness.
Okay, the architecture. And the paper transforms this profound concept into what it calls a field manual, which I think is such a powerful analogy.
A field manual. I like that. Practical.
Yes. It's a hands-on guide designed to help you, quote, spot unintended results, run daily decision loops, and convert reflection into brave action.
Okay, break that down. Spot unintended results, run loops, brave action.
Right. So it's not about getting lost in abstract thought. It's about actively identifying where things are going wrong, those unintended results.
Right.
Then systematically analyzing your choices, running those daily decision loops, and then taking courageous steps to alter your path. Much like a pilot uses a field manual to troubleshoot and navigate,
A field manual instantly makes it feel usable, actionable, rather than just something theoretical you read about.
Totally.
So, for the listener, what are some of the key components promised in this manual? What will they actually learn to do with this operating system?
You'll learn to do several really concrete things, moving from maybe vague intentions to clear execution. First, how to define clear objectives. Not just fuzzy goals, but specific, measurable things that are truly meaningful to you.
Okay, clearly.
Second, how to execute simple bite-sized tasks. Tasks that contribute to those objectives without, overwhelming yourself. Small steps.
Makes sense. Avoid the overwhelm.
And third, and this is a crucial one, how to use clean rhetoric to keep yourself honest.
Clean rhetoric. What's that?
It refers to the language you use, both internally, like when you talk to yourself.
That inner voice.
Exactly. And externally, when you communicate, it's about ensuring that your language is empowering, accurate, and aligned with your goals, not self-defeating or vague, which can subtly sabotage your efforts without you even realizing it.
Wow, okay. The words we use matter that much.
They really do.
Uh-huh.
And the white paper then introduces several specific practical tools designed to help you put this operating system into practice. We're talking about a self-awareness index for tracking your progress. Think of it like a personal
A
dashboard.
dashboard for my brain. Cool.
Kind of. Then there are feedback playbooks to gather external insights from trusted sources, because we can't see everything ourselves.
Right, blind spots.
And a 30-60-90 objective roadmap for a structured, phased approach to sustained growth over time. These aren't just concepts, they are actual, actionable tools we'll explore in detail today.
Okay, index, playbooks, roadmap. Got it.
And finally, the paper delivers a powerful house maxim, kind of like a core principle for the whole system, that sets a truly high bar for personal responsibility and self-agency.
Oh, what's the maxim?
It says, if one fails to fulfill on a task, it's only because they lack the courage to undertake such a task.
Whoa. Okay, that's direct.
Isn't it? It's incredibly provocative because it shifts the locus of control entirely inward. It challenges us to look beyond all the usual external excuses like lack of time, resources, maybe other people.
All the things we blame.
Right. And to confront the internal barrier, our own willingness and courage. It's not about being harsh on ourselves necessarily, but about recognizing where our power truly lies. What are your initial thoughts on that? The idea that courage is the ultimate determinant.
It's incredibly direct, almost uncomfortably so, because it just strips away all the usual alibis, doesn't it?
No wiggle room.
It forces you to confront your own agency. And it's not just about like physical courage, but the courage to sit down and do the hard, sometimes really uncomfortable mental work, or make that call you're dreading.
Exactly that.
It really highlights that underlying psychological component, pushing us to examine our true commitment to action, not just our intention.
Exactly. And this perspective on self-awareness as an operating system, it fundamentally redefines how we approach personal and professional development. It moves beyond just abstract understanding to a systemic, repeatable process.
A system, not just random insights.
Right. This isn't just about knowing thyself in some philosophical sense. It's about building a robust, predictable system for consistent improvement, where courage, as that maxim highlights, becomes the fuel.
Okay. So how do these get wisdom operating principles guide this journey? You mentioned principles earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. They really underpin the whole approach, emphasizing a dynamic and results-driven mindset. The first principle is discovery over certainty. It encourages us to treat today as data, iterate without drama.
Treat today as data, iterate without drama. Okay.
This principle directly combats our natural human tendency to seek certainty and avoid failure at all costs.
Which is strong. We hate uncertainty.
Totally. So it's a radical shift from, I need to plan everything perfectly and avoid any mistakes, to, okay, plan enough to start, then learn fast from whatever happens. It means framing every experience, every outcome, even the things you perceive as failures, as just valuable information, data points.
So failures aren't failures, they're data.
Exactly. You're constantly gathering data, adjusting your approach, refining it, without getting caught up in all the emotional turbulence and drama. It allows for a much faster, more adaptive learning curve.
I love that image of being a scientist in your own life, always experimenting, observing, adjusting.
That's a great way to put it.
And building on that dynamic approach to learning, the paper then moves to another crucial principle: intention over optics. Could you unpack that one for us?
Absolutely. The second principle is intention over optics,
Yeah.
which basically states that results in performance theater.
Results are much greater than performance theater.
Yeah, the double greater than sign, emphasizing the magnitude. This is a crucial distinction, especially today, in a world often driven by appearances, right?
Oh, definitely. How things look.
It means actual, measurable, tangible outcomes are far, far more important than how things appear or how well you present them. This principle challenges those superficial efforts. The activity is designed mainly to look good or create a favorable impression rather than to achieve genuine impact.
Busy work versus real work.
Kind of. It redirects your focus entirely to authentic results and substantive change. It's about building a solid foundation, a solid house, rather than just putting up a shiny facade that might crumble.
That cuts right to the heart of what genuine impact means, doesn't it? Authenticity and true impact, which I think deep down everyone strives for.
I think so too.
And the third principle from the paper, how does that build on this?
Then there's transformation over rearrangement. This is a direct call to remove what doesn't serve, don't just shuffle clutter.
Ooh, don't just shuffle clutter. I feel called out.
Huh? Me too sometimes. This advocates for deep, meaningful change. It's about identifying and actually eliminating what truly hinders you, what's holding you back, rather than simply reorganizing or making cosmetic adjustments to existing problems.
Like tidying your desk when the real issue is your workflow.
Exactly. It's about getting to the root cause and making fundamental shifts in your approach or your environment. It reminds me of that old saying, don't just rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's about fundamental change, not just surface-level tidying.
That's a powerful distinction. It's so easy to just move things around and feel productive without actually solving anything fundamental. So how does our internal dialogue, our self-talk, fit into these principles?
Precisely. That leads perfectly to the fourth principle. Rhetoric shapes reality, which is incredibly powerful. It states that words aim attention, attention drives action.
Words aim attention, attention drives action.
This highlights the profound impact of our internal and external language, the words we choose on our focus. Think about it. The way we talk to ourselves, the stories we tell, the labels we use, they aren't just descriptive of our reality, they're actually prescriptive.
Prescriptive, meaning they tell us what to do.
In a way, yes. They literally direct our attention like a spotlight. And that focused attention, in turn, drives our behavior and ultimately shapes our outcomes. It's like your internal GPS. You keep telling it, I'm lost, I'm terrible at directions, I'll never get there. Well, guess what direction it takes you?
Right. Towards being lost.
Exactly. So choosing your words carefully then becomes a deliberate, almost sacred act of shaping your own reality.
That's such a vivid analogy, the internal GPS. It truly puts the steering wheel firmly in our hands, or rather our mouths. I often catch myself using language that completely disempowers me without even realizing it. It's just habit.
It is often just habit, which is why awareness is the first step.
So how does this idea of shaping reality through rhetoric lead us into the final guiding principle mentioned?
It leads us beautifully to consistency beats intensity. The paper puts it simply. Small, boring, repeated actions yield greater long-term results than sporadic, intense bursts.
Small, boring, repeated. Okay, not glamorous.
Not glamorous at all, but incredibly effective. This principle underscores the immense power of habit and sustained incremental effort. Building self-awareness and achieving goals isn't about heroic one-time efforts or dramatic declarations you make on New Year's Eve.
Right, the big resolution that fizzles out.
Exactly. It's about showing up consistently, day after day, with small, deliberate actions. These seemingly boring actions compound over time, like interest in a bank account, to create significant, lasting transformation. Think of it like saving money. Small, regular contributions consistently outperform sporadic, large deposits in the long run. It's the compounding effect.
The power of compounding. It works for finance, why not for self-awareness?
Precisely.
So why does all of this self-awareness, these principles, actually matter? This isn't just theory for theory's sake, right? What's the bigger picture for us, for the listener? Why should they care?
Exactly. It's crucial to connect the dots. For you, the listener, this isn't just about feeling good or being introspective in some abstract way. It connects directly to something the paper calls the meta-skills connection.
Meta-skills, like foundational skills.
Exactly. Popular leadership research, time and again, consistently converges on a short list of durable meta-skills. These are the foundational capabilities that underpin sustained success in any field, regardless of the specific industry or role.
Okay, what are they typically?
These meta-skills usually include self-awareness, right at the core, then agile learning, effective communication, and influence.
Self-awareness, agile learning, communication, influence. Got it.
While the exact rankings might vary a bit from report to report, the pattern is remarkably stable. The research consistently finds that people who sustain success know what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they come across, and how to adjust quickly.
Know why, how they seem, and how to adjust. That covers a lot.
It really does. This isn't presented as dogma in the paper, but rather as a clear, consistent direction for developing highly effective individuals based on observation.
So what's the bottom line for the listener? The so what?
The so what for you is that self-awareness isn't just about personal growth in isolation. It's about building a robust foundation for all the other critical skills that drive sustainable success. Whether you're leading a team, building a business, navigating relationships, or simply trying to live a more fulfilling personal life, it's the linchpin.
The linchpin that holds the entire system together.
Exactly. It enables the other skills to function effectively. Without self-awareness, your learning isn't as agile, your communication misses the mark, and your influence is weakened.
That makes perfect sense. It's like the master key that unlocks all the other doors to effectiveness. Okay, now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. How do we actually gauge our self-awareness? It's so easy to feel insightful, right? To think we know ourselves really well.
Absolutely. We can easily fool ourselves.
But this paper suggests a far more objective measure than just, that subjective feeling of, oh, yeah, I'm pretty self-aware.
That's a critical point, because our subjective feelings can often be quite misleading. We might feel insightful right after a meditation session, but are we really operating differently? The paper makes a powerful shift here, moving us from relying on subjective internal feelings to objective external observation.
Okay, external observation. How?
It explicitly states, and this is a key quote, to gauge self-awareness, don't ask how insightful you feel. Inspect the unintended results.
Inspect the unintended result. Wow, so look at what's actually happening that I didn't want to happen.
Precisely. This is a powerful reframe. Instead of relying on a gut feeling of how well you know yourself, you're instructed to look at the tangible outcomes in your life that you didn't intend, the things that keep happening that you wish wouldn't. These unintended results become your mirror.
Your mirror, reflecting back the true state of your operating system.
Exactly. Whether you like what you see in that mirror or not, it's giving you objective data.
So what kinds of unintended results are we talking about here? Can you give us some examples that really highlight these patterns, maybe in both personal and professional contexts?
Certainly. The paper gives very clear, relatable examples. Things like recurring overdrafts in your bank account.
Ouch. Yeah.
Or repeated conflict patterns, maybe with the same person or about the same kind of issue, or projects that stall at the same stage every single time.
Okay, those are definitely things people experience.
And the paper emphasizes that these are not just isolated incidents. The key insight is that patterns are signals.
Patterns are signals, not just bad luck.
Right. A recurring overdraft isn't just bad luck or a one-time mistake. It's a clear signal about your financial management system, perhaps your spending habits, maybe your avoidance of looking at the numbers.
Okay.
A repeated conflict pattern signals something deeper about your communication style, maybe your boundaries, or how you handle disagreements. A project consistently getting stuck at, say, the review phase tells you something about your planning, your stakeholder management, maybe your delegation process.
So these patterns are invaluable data points.
Invaluable. They reveal deeper, often unconscious underlying issues in your self-awareness operating system. They're like dashboard warning lights for your life, telling you where maintenance is needed.
That's a powerful way to look at it, seeing these frustrations as signals rather than just things we have to endure or shrug off. So once you've spotted a pattern, identified these unintended results, what's the next step? You see the warning light, now what? How do you move from observation to effective action?
The crucial step, as outlined in the paper, is the corrective action loop. Once you've identified a pattern, the instruction is to name them plainly, then design one corrective task you'll execute within 24 hours.
Name it plainly. Then one task within 24 hours.
Okay, two key parts there. Naming it plainly means using clear, objective language. No sugarcoating, no self-justification, just the facts of the pattern.
Like, I consistently overcommit and then miss deadlines.
Exactly. Plain. And the second part, the immediate small-scale action. One corrective task within 24 hours is vital. The goal is to break the pattern's momentum by taking a concrete, manageable step very quickly before inertia or avoidance kicks back in.
Before you talk yourself out of it.
Precisely.
Can you give us a really tangible example so listeners can visualize this in their own lives? Maybe take that project example you mentioned.
Let's do it. Imagine that common work scenario.
Yeah.
You're the project manager, and your projects always seem to get stuck at the client review stage. It causes delays, frustration, maybe even finger-pointing.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Naming this plainly might be something like, My projects consistently hit a bottleneck at external review because I haven't adequately prepared my stakeholders for what they're seeing or clarified what feedback is actually needed at this stage. See, plain takes ownership.
Okay, clear and specific, no blaming.
Right. Then the corrective task, designed for immediate execution within 24 hours. It could be incredibly small, yet brave.
Yeah.
Schedule a 15-minute pre-review check-in call with the key stakeholder by lunchtime today to walk them through the main points and proactively clarify review expectations.
Just 15 minutes. Today, that feels doable.
Exactly. Small, immediate, breaks the pattern of just sending it over and hoping for the best. Or maybe in a personal context, if you find yourself consistently feeling overwhelmed by household chores despite having a long to-do list.
The list never ends.
Right. Naming it plainly. I consistently feel overwhelmed by household tasks because I try to tackle huge chunks at once, which leads to paralysis and avoidance.
Okay.
The corrective task? Maybe. Spend exactly 10 minutes tonight just sorting the laundry into separate piles. That's it. Or set a timer for 5 minutes tomorrow morning and wipe down one bathroom counter.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Almost ridiculously small.
Yes. The power is in that immediate, small, non-overwhelming action that disrupts the pattern of inaction and starts building momentum in the other direction. And this raises an important point. If our patterns of unintended results are the mirror showing us where our self-awareness might be lacking, then understanding what actually drives our daily experience becomes the engine of change.
The engine of change, okay.
This takes us directly to what the white paper calls the 3 daily decisions, a concept presented as the engine of experience. These are fundamental choices we make every single day, often unconsciously, that dictate our path and our results.
Engine of experience, that's a powerful image. It implies we have control over something really fundamental moment by moment. So what's the first daily decision that drives this engine?
The first is 1. What to focus on attention is your steering wheel. The core idea here is incredibly simple yet profoundly impactful. Your attention is your most valuable asset. It's a finite resource.
Can't pay attention to everything.
Exactly. And you absolutely get to choose where it goes. You're the one holding the steering wheel of your focus.
We get to choose. We often forget that.
We do. The practical application is to aim at controllables and desired outcomes. This means consciously directing your focus away from what you cannot change or influence, like dwelling on past mistakes you can't undo, worrying excessively about future uncertainties beyond your control, or getting sucked into unproductive office gossip.
All those energy drains.
Big time. And instead directing your focus towards what you can influence, what you can actively do, and what you genuinely want to achieve, your desired outcomes.
That makes so much sense. We often spend so much mental energy fixating on things totally out of our control.
We really do.
So for the listener, this means asking themselves, maybe several times a day, okay, wait, am I focusing on problems I can't solve right now, or am I focused on the next actionable step I can take?
Precisely. That simple check-in, that conscious choice of focus, dramatically shapes your reality and your sense of agency throughout the day. The second daily decision builds on this. It's 2. What it means, meaning is assigned, not discovered.
Meaning is a sign, not discovered. Explain that.
The core idea here is that events themselves are largely neutral. Things just happen. A sudden rainstorm, a challenging email lands in your inbox, a project hits an unexpected snag. These are just occurrences.
Well,
Facts.
okay, they just are.
Right. It's the meaning you give them that dictates your emotional and behavioral response. A setback isn't inherently bad or a definitive sign of failure. It's your interpretation of it that makes it feel that way.
We layer the meaning on top of the event.
Exactly. And the empowering choice you have, always, is to choose interpretations that generate useful action. This is about consciously reframing challenges, obstacles, even neutral events to create opportunities for progress, for learning, or simply for a more constructive, resilient response.
That's a huge shift in perspective because our default is often negative, right? So if I or a listener were facing a situation like, say, a missed deadline, instead of that immediate gut punch of, oh man, I'm a failure, what might be a truly useful meaning to assign? How do you actively cultivate that reframing muscle, especially in the heat of the moment when you just feel bad?
That's a fantastic question, because it's precisely in those high-pressure, emotionally charged moments that our default, often negative interpretations kick in automatically.
Yeah, the autopilot meaning.
Right. The paper suggests an active, deliberate reframing process. So if a missed deadline could mean you're a failure, which is a disempowering interpretation leading to paralysis, shame, maybe hiding,
Yep, been there.
a useful meaning might be, Okay, this missed deadline signals that my initial planning was perhaps over-optimistic, or maybe my time estimation needs a fresh look. It's an opportunity to learn and refine my process for the next time. See the difference?
Yeah, one shuts you down, the other opens up learning.
Exactly. Cultivating that muscle involves a quick conscious pause, even for a second. Okay, what's my default interpretation here? Is it actually serving me? Is it helping me move forward? What's an alternative interpretation that allows me to take useful action? You have that power of choice to assign meaning that empowers you.
Pause, question the default, choose a useful alternative.
Okay. And finally, the third daily decision brings it all together. 3. What you will do, action proves intention.
Action proves intention. Simple but true.
Stark and simple, yeah. The core idea is that intentions, no matter how noble or well thought out, are ultimately meaningless without action. You can focus perfectly, you can assign the most empowering meaning in the world, but without taking a concrete step, nothing actually changes in the real world.
All talk, no action.
Right. The immediate application offered is to write the next brave task and complete it today. This emphasizes the critical importance of breaking down goals, even really big ones, into immediate, executable, courageous steps that you commit to completing, ideally within the day. It makes intention real.
The next brave task. I like that emphasis on brave. It acknowledges it might be uncomfortable.
It often is. That's why courage is a recurring theme.
So these 3 decisions, what to focus on, what it means, and what you will do, they form a continuous loop then, right? They're not separate things. They're constantly interacting throughout the day.
Absolutely. They are deeply interconnected, forming a powerful, continuous feedback loop.
Yep.
You consciously choose your focus, decision 1. Then you assign an empowering meaning to what you're focusing on, decision 2.
Yeah.
And then that meaning propels you to take brave action, decision 3.
Yeah.
That action then generates new results, new data, which become the input for your next cycle of focus and meaning. This continuous loop is the engine that drives your daily experience and, ultimately, your long-term success and growth. It's self-reinforcing, either positively or negatively, depending on your choices.
That makes so much sense. It's an active, ongoing process, not a one-time fix.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're consciously trying to make these 3 daily decisions effectively, what do these self-awareness traits we talked about earlier actually look like when someone is actively putting them into practice? It's not just about internal reflection, but observable behaviors, right?
Right.
What are the telltale signs that someone is really operating this way?
That's a great point, because this isn't about, sitting under a tree contemplating your navel. It's about observable impact and effectiveness in the world. The white paper moves beyond just defining self-awareness to illustrating what it looks like when it's actively in practice, when someone is truly operating from a place of high self-awareness. And yes, these are concrete behaviors you can observe in yourself and others, and most importantly, behaviors you can practice and cultivate.
Okay, give us the rundown. What's the first trait in action?
First, there's self-awareness itself, but in practice. This isn't just vaguely knowing you're angry or happy. It's about actively observing your state and impact.
State and impact.
Meaning how your current internal state, your emotions, your energy level, your thoughts is affecting you, your decisions, and those around you. And the second part is actively logging what you discover.
Logging it, like taking notes.
Yeah, maybe mentally, maybe literally jotting it down.
Yeah.
This transforms introspection from just feeling into a form of data collection. You're not just being angry, you're observing the anger, noticing its triggers, its effects, maybe logging. Okay, felt defensive in that meeting, impact was I shut down ideas.
Yeah.
You're being a diligent scientist of your own mind and actions.
So it's almost like keeping a data-driven journal of your reactions and their consequences. That makes it very actionable, not just feeling stuff.
Exactly. It provides concrete data for improvement.
What about learning, especially when things inevitably go off track or don't go as planned?
Right. Then we have agile learning in practice. This trait is about the ability to pivot based on data and run small experiments. It's directly tied to that discovery over certainty operating principle we discussed. You're not rigidly adhering to a plan. If the initial data, the results you're getting, suggests it's not working, or if the situation changes. Instead, you're adaptable. You're willing to test hypotheses in your own life or work, making small, iterative changes based on what you observe, rather than digging your heels in and saying, this has to work.
Less ego, more data.
Exactly. This approach drastically accelerates progress because you're constantly course-correcting based on real-world feedback, not just sticking to the original plan no matter what.
That sounds like applying the scientific method directly to personal development, which makes sense. And communication, how does that fit into a self-aware operating system in action?
Excellent question. For communication, the trait in practice involves making the message clear and useful, and, importantly, shipping artifacts.
Shipping artifacts again, tangible output.
Yes, it means focusing relentlessly on the clarity and the utility of what you're trying to convey. Is it easy to understand? Does it help the other person? It's not just about talking or sending an email, it's about ensuring your message lands effectively, is understood, and crucially, about producing tangible outputs, artifacts that demonstrate your understanding, your intent, or your progress.
What kind of artifacts are we talking about?
These could be anything from a concise summary email after a meeting, a one-page brief outlining a proposal, a short Loom video explaining a complex point, or even just a clear list of action items with owners and deadlines. The point is to create concrete evidence that your communication achieved its purpose and created alignment or clarity.
So it's about making sure your words lead to understanding and tangible results, not just more noise or confusion in someone's inbox.
Precisely. Effective, purposeful communication.
And the final trait mentioned was influence. How does self-awareness amplify our influence when put into practice?
Lastly, influence. This trait is about how you impact others and build credibility in a meaningful, sustainable way. It's defined by the ability to expand trust by delivering value and recognizing that your sphere grows when your promises do.
Your sphere grows when your promises do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. This connects self-awareness directly to your external impact. It shows how understanding yourself, knowing your capabilities, honoring your commitments, understanding your communication style, being aware of your blind spots, allows you to better serve others, consistently deliver on your word, and thereby build trust. Influence isn't about manipulation. It's presented here as a natural consequence of operating with integrity, clarity, and reliability. People trust you because you consistently deliver value and keep your promises.
It's earned influence, not demanded.
Exactly. Built on a foundation of self-awareness and consistent action.
I can really see how these traits aren't just abstract qualities people might list on a resume. They are observable behaviors you can consciously practice and refine daily. They're all interconnected and build upon that foundational self-awareness we're talking about, leading to a much more integrated and ultimately effective way of operating in the world. Okay, this all sounds like a fantastic framework, a really solid operating system, but, the big question is always, how do we actually build this into our lives? It's one thing to understand the concepts intellectually.
Right. Knowing isn't the same as doing.
Exactly. It's another thing entirely to consistently implement them amidst the chaos of daily life, work, family, everything. The paper offers something called an objectives architecture that seems designed to help with this, providing some real paving stones toward intention, giving us a clear path for tangible action and sustained growth.
Indeed. The objectives architecture is precisely that it's where the rubber meets the road, turning theory into execution. It provides a structured, measurable way to make your commitment to self-awareness tangible and visible in your daily actions.
Making it visible, okay.
The paper suggests setting 4 specific, measurable 30-day objectives. This structure ensures that your commitment to being more self-aware translates into concrete tasks and observable progress, tracked over a manageable timeframe. It transforms that abstract goal into specific, trackable efforts.
30 days feels like a good time frame, long enough to build a habit, short enough not to feel overwhelming. Okay, what's the first objective in this architecture that helps us lay those paving stones?
The first is Objective A, focus resets. The goal here is specific. Run 20 focus resets that convert rumination into one concrete task. Link artifacts.
20 resets in 30 days. That's less than one a day. And convert rumination.
Great.
Great.
This is a direct intervention for that mental loop of unproductive thought. We all fall into that endless worry, replaying conversations, analysis paralysis. It teaches you to actively interrupt those cycles.
Get yourself ruminating.
Yes. And immediately shift that energy into a practical, immediate step, one concrete task. And by linking artifacts, you're creating evidence, maybe a note, a completed small task, a sent email, making your internal shift externally verifiable and building a track record of taking action instead of just spinning your wheels.
So if you're stuck worrying about a presentation, a focus reset means noticing the worry, stopping it, and defining one task like
open PowerPoint and create the title slide, or write the first 3 bullet points for the introduction. Something small, concrete, done now.
I love that, converting unproductive mental energy into action. It's a direct attack on procrastination and overthinking. What's Objective B?
Objective B, reflection audits. This involves formally publishing, even if it's just for yourself, 4 weekly reflection audits. Unintended results, lesson, new task.
4 weekly audits, so 1 per week for the month. And it follows that loop: result, lesson, task.
Exactly. This isn't just casual journaling. It's a structured, almost scientific process of learning from your patterns. You identify an unintended result from the week, maybe that recurring project bottleneck we discussed, or snapping at a family member. Then you distill a clear, one-sentence lesson from it.
When I feel rushed, I speak sharply.
Perfect. And then, crucially, you immediately translate that insight into a new specific task you commit to doing to address it. For example, next time I feel rushed before a meeting, I will take 3 deep breaths before speaking. This formalizes the learning loop and ensures that reflection leads directly to future corrective action rather than just being a fleeting mental exercise.
That truly makes reflection a very productive activity. It turns those oops moments or frustrating patterns into clear lessons and then into specific next steps. Very practical. And Objective C, what does that involve?
Objective C, structured feedback. Here you commit to hold 4 structured feedback sessions, operator, strategist, truth teller, and capture actions.
4 sessions in 30 days, again, about 1 a week, using that trio model.
Precisely. This objective emphasizes the critical role of external perspectives in identifying your blind spots and generating actionable insights. We often can't see our own patterns clearly, no matter how much we reflect internally.
So true, we all have blind spots.
So you're not just vaguely asking friends, hey, what do you think? You're actively seeking specific guidance from different vantage points. You talk to an operator, someone who's good at the how-to, the execution. You talk to a strategist, someone who sees the why, the bigger picture. And you talk to a truth teller, someone who will gently, or maybe not so gently, challenge you on what you might be avoiding.
Operator, strategist, truth teller, different lenses.
Exactly. And the key phrase again is capture actions. You leave these brief sessions not just with opinions or observations, but with concrete actions you can take based on the feedback.
So you're not just relying on your own internal mirror, you're deliberately getting these external reflections to sharpen your self-awareness and illuminate those hidden areas.
Very powerful. What about Objective D, the final paving stone in this 30-day architecture? The final objective is Objective D, message clarity. This asks you to produce 4 message clarity artifacts, briefs, one-pagers or looms, that align a team or client.
4 artifacts in the month. Again, linking to communication.
Yes. This directly links your internal self-awareness to your external effectiveness, specifically in communication and influence. By intentionally creating these tangible communication pieces, maybe a concise project update, a clear summary of a decision, a short video explaining a change, you're ensuring that your intentions, your understanding, and your desired outcomes are not just clear in your own mind, but are clearly articulated and easily understood by others.
It's about making sure your internal clarity actually translates into external alignment and shared understanding.
Exactly. It's the ultimate test, in a way, of whether your internal operating system is truly effective in the real world, in your interactions with others. Can you make your message clear and useful?
This objectives architecture provides such a clear, actionable structure for that first month. It breaks down getting better at self-awareness into manageable, measurable steps.
And that's exactly where theory meets execution. These objectives are excellent guideposts, but to consistently hit them day in and day out, you need daily habits. The daily task plan provided in the paper is critical for translating these broader objectives into consistent, actionable behaviors.
Okay, the daily rhythm.
Right. It offers what the paper calls small levers, real pull, meaning small, consistent actions that collectively create significant momentum and change over time without feeling like this huge, overwhelming burden each day.
Small levers, real pull, that's a fantastic image. It's about finding those little things that have a disproportionate impact, getting those little nudges working for you. So what's the first step in this daily plan? How do you start the day?
It begins with a morning primer, which the paper suggests only takes about 3 minutes. Quick and easy. The instruction is simply to write today's intention and 3 tasks. Focus, meaning action.
Intention, and then tasks aligned with the 3 daily decisions.
Yeah. Yes. This is your quick compass setting for the day. Before the inevitable cascade of emails, meetings, and demands begins, you take just a few minutes to explicitly state what you intend to achieve or how you intend to show up, and then you map out those 3 critical daily decisions we discussed. What will you consciously focus on today? What empowering meaning will you choose to assign to potential challenges or events? And what is one brave action you'll commit to taking today?
So you're programming your internal GPS first thing.
Exactly. It sets the tone and directs your energy for the entire day, giving you a sense of proactive control right from the start, rather than just reacting to whatever comes your way.
That's a powerful way to start establishing a clear intent before the day runs away with you. And what if, inevitably, you find yourself getting off track during the day? We all experience that feeling of drift, as the paper calls it, where focus wanders or frustration builds. How do you course correct quickly?
For that exact situation, there's the midday reset. This is designed as a micro intervention, intended to take only about 60 seconds. Super fast.
60 seconds. Everyone has 60 seconds.
Right. The prompt is, if you feel drift, ask, what am I focusing on right now? What else could this situation mean? What is one brave task I can do now?
Checking back in with the 3 daily decisions again. Focus, meaning action.
Precisely. It's your instant self-correction mechanism, like an internal alarm system that goes off when you sense you're drifting off course.
Right.
It prompts you to immediately check back in with those 3 core decisions and get back on track quickly, preventing small deviations or frustrations from escalating into major derailments or a completely unproductive afternoon.
It's like hitting a quick refresh button on your mental operating system throughout the day.
Like a perfect analogy for it.
So it's about being responsive to your internal state and quickly bringing yourself back into alignment before you get totally lost. And then, at the end of the day, how do you reflect on what happened and prepare for tomorrow, closing that daily loop effectively?
That's where the evening AAR, after action review, comes in. Again, designed to be quick, another 3-minute practice. You rapidly record, event, lesson, 1 sentence. Next task, due by time, artifact link.
Event, lesson, next task, artifact. Okay, break that down.
It's a rapid debriefing process. You identify a significant event from the day, positive or negative. You distill a concise, actionable lesson from it in just 1 sentence. What did you learn? Then, crucially, you immediately translate that lesson into a specific task for the next day, complete with a due time to create commitment. And if possible, you link to any relevant evidence or artifact.
So it reinforces the learning and immediately turns it into future action.
Exactly. It prevents lessons learned from just evaporating overnight. It creates a clear handoff for tomorrow and ensures a cycle of continuous improvement day after day.
Okay, that daily loop morning primer, midday reset, evening AAR feels really complete. But what about when a task just stalls? We plan to do it, maybe it's even on our list from the AAR, but we just don't. We avoid it.
Ah, yes, the stalled task. A critical piece of the daily task plan addresses this directly because it happens to everyone. The antidote offered is powerful and direct. If a task stalls, revisit courage, half the dose, and execute now.
Revisit courage, half the dose, execute now. Okay.
It confronts procrastination or perceived difficulty head-on. First, the revisit courage part links back to that house maxim, acknowledging that the block is often internal. Maybe fear or feeling overwhelmed, not usually external factors.
Courage check.
Right. Then, have the dose. This means making the task significantly smaller, less intimidating, breaking it down into an almost ridiculously easy first step. If the task was write the report, maybe having the dose is open the document and write the title.
Make it tiny, lower the barrier to entry.
Exactly. And finally, execute now.
Mm-hmm.
The directive is for immediate action on that smaller piece right then and there. This prevents that task from lingering, draining your mental energy, and demotivating you. You get it moving again immediately.
That's an incredible daily rhythm, a complete loop from morning intention to evening reflection and planning, with built-in self-correction for drift and stalled tasks. It feels very robust.
It aims to be.
But often, as we've touched on, our biggest blind spots are things we genuinely cannot see ourselves, things outside our own perspective, no matter how diligent our self-reflection. That's where these feedback playbooks you mentioned become absolutely invaluable, right? Getting that external view.
Exactly. Feedback is the essential external mirror that complements our internal reflection. It's where you truly multiply your self-awareness because others see things we simply don't. The paper provides structured feedback playbooks designed to help you incorporate diverse, targeted perspectives efficiently and effectively without it just turning into vague complaining or unstructured opinions.
Structured and efficient. Okay, what's the first playbook?
The first and perhaps most central is the advisory trio. This is a structured feedback model. It involves consulting with 3 specific roles, ideally in a short, focused 15-minute session, quick and targeted.
15 minutes. That's manageable. Who are the 3 roles?
You seek out an operator, someone who advises on how to do it, providing practical steps, tactical advice, and execution insights. Then a strategist who helps clarify why it matters, connecting your task or challenge to the bigger picture. ensuring alignment with larger goals. And finally, a truth teller, the person who points out what you're avoiding, offering that honest, sometimes uncomfortable feedback on your blind spots, assumptions, or areas of procrastination.
Operator how, strategist why, truth teller what's avoided. I love those distinct roles. It ensures different kinds of input.
Precisely. It gives you a well-rounded perspective. And the critical goal of this 15-minute session, the paper stresses, is to leave with tasks, not just opinions or general advice. You're explicitly asking for actionable next steps based on their perspective.
I love that distinction again. Tasks, not opinions. It keeps the feedback focused, concrete, and productive, preventing it from just being a gripe session or vague encouragement.
Exactly. It channels the feedback into forward momentum.
Okay, that advisory trio sounds incredibly useful. What's the next playbook for multiplying self-awareness?
The next one is the shadow review. This is a fascinating and often highly revealing self-observation technique. It instructs you to watch yourself on video at 2 speed for 10 minutes. Rate 2 sentences. Keep upgrade.
Watch myself on video at double speed. Ooh, that sounds potentially cringe-inducing.
It can be a little uncomfortable at first, definitely.
Yeah.
But it offers a uniquely detached, accelerated perspective on your own communication, your body language, your habits, your interaction patterns, maybe in a recorded meeting or presentation.
Why double speed?
The speed helps detach you emotionally and makes patterns more obvious. Seeing yourself from an objective distance, in fast forward, allows you to identify mannerisms, verbal tics, like energy fluctuations or interaction patterns you might never notice in real time while you're focused on the content.
It provides undeniable objective data about how you actually come across.
Exactly. Undeniable data. And based on that 10-minute review, you simply write 2 sentences.
Yeah.
One thing you observed that you should consciously keep because it serves you well, and one thing you want to upgrade or improve for better impact. It's a very direct, efficient way to identify areas for self-correction based on objective observation.
That sounds both incredibly revealing and potentially a little uncomfortable, as you said, but I can see how it'd be super effective for identifying those unconscious habits we all have. Powerful. And the last playbook for broadening our awareness.
The third playbook focuses more outwardly. It's the stakeholder map, a tool for enhancing external awareness and planning for effective influence. The instruction is, list who's affected. Capture what they need to know, do, and feel after your message.
Okay, mapping out everyone impacted by my communication or actions.
Yes. Before you communicate something important, or before you make a decision with downstream effects, you pause and map it out. Who are all the people or groups affected by this? Then, for each stakeholder, you consider, what information do they absolutely need to know? What, if anything, do you need them to do as a result? And, importantly, how do you want them to feel after receiving your message? For example, informed, reassured, motivated, concerned.
Considering the feel part is interesting. It goes beyond just information transfer.
Right. It ensures your communication is thoroughly tailored, empathetic, and strategic. It forces you to consider the broader impact of your actions and messages on all relevant parties, fostering greater influence because you're anticipating needs, addressing potential concerns proactively, and shaping the reception of your message effectively. It's about putting yourself in their shoes before you even open your mouth or hit send on that email.
So for you listening, imagine using that advisory trio before launching a challenging project, getting that practical, strategic, and honest input up front. Or using a shadow review to finally pinpoint those nervous ums and ahs that undermine your confidence in presentations. This kind of structured external feedback, combined with self-observation, is absolutely crucial for growth beyond what you can achieve just through introspection alone.
It really does multiply your self-awareness, aiming for that 360-degree view of your impact and effectiveness.
Oh wait, let's shift gears slightly. We often don't realize just how much our internal language, the words we constantly use in our heads and out loud, actually shapes our world, our perception, our actions. It's so foundational. This white paper gives us a really clear framework called the rhetoric guardrail to help us keep our language honest and aligned with our intentions.
That's right. And the core message of this rhetoric guardrail section is incredibly powerful and direct. Your rhetoric is your steering wheel.
Rhetoric is your steering wheel. Again, with the steering wheel analogy for our internal state.
Yes. It emphasizes that direct, undeniable link between the words you habitually use both internally in your thoughts and externally in your speech and the direction your life ultimately takes. Our language isn't just passively descriptive. The paper argues it's actively generative. It creates our reality by steering our focus and shaping our subsequent actions.
So what kind of language does the paper suggest we consciously retire? What are the common phrases that are actually disempowering us, maybe often without us even noticing because they're just conversational texts?
The paper explicitly points out several common types of disempowering language to consciously work on retiring from your vocabulary. First, phrases starting with, "I just feel like."
Oh, I use that one sometimes.
Many people do, but the paper suggests it often replaces reasoned thought or clear observation with purely subjective emotion, which can make it harder to act decisively or sometimes even be taken seriously in certain contexts. It can weaken your point.
Okay, so be mindful of I just feel like. What else?
Second, definitive statements like, "That's just how I am."
The fixed mindset trap.
Exactly. This represents a fixed mindset that avoids personal growth, dodges responsibility for change, and can easily become a self-fulfilling prophecy. It closes the door on possibility.
Right, it implies you can't change.
And third, the seemingly innocuous phrase, "I'll try."
Yoda was right. Do or do not, there is no try.
Huh, pretty much. The paper sees "I'll try" as indicating a lack of true commitment. It leaves an open door to failure and allows you to avoid full accountability if you don't succeed. These types of phrases subtly undermine your agency, limit your perceived potential, and essentially program your internal operating system for less than optimal performance.
Those are all phrases I've definitely caught myself using. They feel like harmless conversational fillers sometimes, but looking at them through this lens, I can see how they're actually quite detrimental to agency and commitment. So, what should we replace these with? What are the empowering, action-oriented phrases that actually move us forward, according to this model?
The paper offers direct, empowering replacements that are designed to foster agency, intentionality, and accountability. For instance, instead of that vague, "I just feel like," you might replace it with a statement of choice, like, "Today I choose to focus on," or "My observation is," which asserts intentionality or presents a clearer thought.
Okay, shifting from feeling to choosing or observing.
Right. Instead of the non-committal "I'll try," you use a concrete statement like, "My next task is," which commits you to a specific, actionable, and immediate step. It's definitive.
No wiggle room there. My next task is.
Exactly. And to really drive accountability and focus on tangible output, the paper suggests language like, "Evidence I'll ship by 5 p.m. is." This creates a clear deadline, a specific measurable outcome, and something that can be observed and verified by yourself or others.
Wow. Evidence will ship by 5 p.m. That's serious commitment.
It is. By consciously changing your vocabulary in these ways, you're not just speaking differently. The argument is that you're actively rewiring your thinking patterns. You're empowering yourself to act in alignment with your stated goals, literally steering your life in a new, more intentional direction with your words.
That's a powerful concept, consciously curating our language to steer our lives.
And if rhetoric shapes reality, then having a quantitative, objective way to track your daily practice of self-awareness becomes absolutely essential. We need data, not just feelings, to confirm if our steering is actually working.
Right. We need to measure if these changes are making a difference.
Exactly. This brings us to the Self-Awareness Index, which is designed to transform what might seem like abstract concepts like focus, meaning action, into measurable, actionable data. It gives you that real-time dashboard for your personal operating system we talked about earlier.
An index for self-awareness, that's brilliant. It makes something that feels intangible so concrete. How does it actually work? How do you use it?
It's designed to be remarkably simple and effective so that you actually do it. You are encouraged to rate yourself daily, maybe at the end of the day during your evening AAR, on a scale of 1 to 5 across 5 key areas related to the principles we've discussed.
1 to 5 on 5 things each day. Okay.
Then, to smooth out the natural daily fluctuations and reveal underlying trends, you track a rolling 7-day average. This provides you with objective, data-driven insights into your progress and helps you spot patterns over time. Are you improving in certain areas? Are you slipping in others?
Like tracking metrics for a business, but for your own internal state and actions.
That's a great analogy. It's a pragmatic, data-driven approach to continuous self-improvement, allowing you to see objectively what's working and what needs more attention or adjustment.
So what are these 5 key metrics we should be self-assessing each day on that 1 to 5 scale?
The first metric is focused on controllables. This asks directly, did you run focus resets today? Did you write down clear tasks? It links straight back to that first daily decision, what to focus on, and measures your practical execution in directing your attention productively.
Okay, how well did I manage my focus?
The second is chose empowering meaning. The prompt is, did you consciously shift interpretations from neutral or negative? useful, actionable. This ties to the second daily decision, what things mean, and assesses your active ability to reframe events constructively, moving away from those disempowering narratives.
How well did I manage my interpretation? Got it.
The third is executed tasks under pressure. Did you follow through? Specifically, was an artifact linked? This measures actual task completion, especially when you face challenges, resistance, or just didn't feel like it. It emphasizes the importance of tangible evidence of your action, that shipping evidence idea, again, not just good intentions.
Did I actually do the things, especially the hard ones?
Okay. The fourth, sought feedback and converted it to action. It asks, did you proactively seek input this week today? And more importantly, did you act on any of it? This measures your engagement with those feedback playbooks and your subsequent behavior change based on external input, showing your openness to learning and growth from others.
Am I actively using feedback for growth? Makes sense.
And finally, number 5 is energy stewardship. The question is, did you attend to sleep, move, fuel basics? This acknowledges the absolutely fundamental importance of your physical well-being.
Ah, the basics. Sleep, movement, nutrition.
Yes. It recognizes these as a crucial component of your overall self-awareness and your capacity to perform. It reminds you that your physical state directly impacts your mental clarity, your emotional resilience, your focus, your courage, everything. If you're consistently running on fumes, your entire operating system will suffer, no matter how good your intentions are.
You can't run sophisticated software on broken hardware.
Perfect analogy. Your body is the hardware.
These are incredibly comprehensive metrics. They cover focus, meaning, action, feedback, and even the physical foundation. And the paper provides clear benchmarks, right? So you're not just looking at a number, but you know where you stand and what your average score actually means.
Yes, absolutely. It offers clear benchmarks for interpreting your rolling 7-day average score, giving it context. If you're consistently scoring below 3.0, the paper suggests your system is 3.0 fragile. This indicates your self-awareness practice is vulnerable, inconsistent, and likely leading to those recurring unintended results we talked about. You're easily knocked off course.
Fragile. Okay, what's the next level?
A score between 3.0 and 4.0 indicates 3.0, 4.0 functional. This suggests you have a steady working system in place. The basics are operating, but there's clear room for optimization and improvement, perhaps by tightening up your feedback loops, being more consistent with your resets, or focusing more on energy stewardship.
Functional, but could be better, like Windows Vista.
Huh? Maybe. And then, if you're consistently scoring above 4.0, you're considered 4.0 aligned. This represents a highly effective and integrated self-awareness practice where your intentions, your awareness, and your actions are deeply in sync. You're operating smoothly and effectively.
Fragile, functional, aligned. Okay.
For you, the listener, this index provides an objective, data-driven way to understand your current state of self-awareness in these key areas, identify specific areas that need work, and track your progress in real time. It really does make your growth tangible and keeps you honest.
It takes the guesswork out of, am I actually getting better at this? You have data. Okay, but even with the best tools, the best intentions, the daily tracking, we all hit roadblocks. We all face those moments of resistance, fear, frustration, emotional fog. Life happens. This paper doesn't shy away from that reality, does it? It provides specific obstacles and antidotes that seem incredibly direct, offering no-nonsense, immediate solutions to common challenges that can derail this whole self-awareness journey.
It's absolutely vital to acknowledge that implementation isn't always smooth sailing. Understanding the system is one thing, running it under pressure is another. And yes, the paper addresses this head-on with very practical, immediate solutions, antidotes for common obstacles. Let's look at a few of these because they're so universally relatable.
Okay, hit me with the first common obstacle.
First one, emotional fog. This obstacle describes that feeling of being overwhelmed, mentally unclear, maybe paralyzed due to intense emotions, stress, anxiety, anger, confusion. That feeling where your brain just feels fuzzy and can't quite think straight or decide what to do next.
Oh yeah, brain fog, decision paralysis. Totally know that feeling. What's the antidote?
The antidote is incredibly quick and physical, designed to cut through the fog. 2 minutes. Physiology reset, stand tall, long exhale, then write one task.
Physiology first. Stand tall, exhale.
Yes. It uses a rapid physiological intervention, changing your posture, using your breath to create a state shift, to literally clear the mind biochemically. And that's immediately followed by defining the smallest possible action, writing down just one task to break through the mental paralysis and get moving again, even slightly.
It's like a hard reboot for your emotional system, using the body to change the mind.
Exactly. Simple, fast, effective.
That's brilliant. A quick circuit breaker to regain clarity. Okay, what about the insidious trap of perfectionism, which I know derails so many people, myself included sometimes? That need for everything to be flawless before you can move forward.
Perfectionism. Such a common obstacle.
Yeah.
The relentless pursuit of flawlessness that often leads to paralysis. I can't start until I know how to do it perfectly. Endless tweaking, still not quite right. Or significant delays in actually shipping anything.
We want it perfect, so we end up producing nothing.
Exactly. The antidote is simple in concept, but powerful in practice. Define good enough before you start. Time box and ship.
Define good enough up front and use a timer.
Right? This forces you to set realistic standards for the current iteration, acknowledging it doesn't have to be the final, ultimate version right now. Then you set a time limit, time box, for working on it. And when the time is up, you ship it, you send the email, submit the draft, make the call. It prioritizes progress and learning over impossible perfection, ensuring you get things out the door and gather feedback, rather than getting stuck in that infinite loop of almost done.
That's a huge one for many of us, letting perfect become the enemy of good, or even the enemy of done. Defining good enough first is key. And what about when we really need feedback to improve or see our blind spots, but we dread asking for it because it often feels like criticism or judgment?
That leads to feedback avoidance. It's that natural reluctance, sometimes even fear, associated with seeking or receiving critical input. We brace ourselves for impact.
Yeah, nobody loves criticism.
The antidote here leverages the earlier playbook we discussed. Book a 15-minute trio. Ask for actions, not opinions.
Framing it differently. Ask for actions.
Yes. By explicitly asking your advisory trio for specific, actionable steps they recommend, rather than just asking, "What did you think?" You frame the entire interaction differently. It significantly reduces the potential emotional sting of subjective opinions I didn't like, and focuses the conversation on productive, forward-moving outcomes. Maybe to try doing X. It makes seeking feedback feel less like a personal judgment and more like a collaborative problem-solving session to get specific, implementable guidance for improvement.
Changing the request changes the whole dynamic.
Brilliant. Okay, and finally, a very common scenario. What if you simply miss a task? Despite all the planning, the intentions, the AARs, you didn't do it. We all have those moments of falling short. What's the antidote then? If you have a missed task, the paper has a very direct and empowering response, echoing earlier themes. Courage check, have the dose, execute today.
There's that sequence again. Courage, have, execute.
Yes, it's a consistent principle. First, the courage check. Acknowledge the likely internal reason for avoidance. Often, as the House maxim suggests, it's a lack of courage or fear of failure, or the task felt overwhelming. Take responsibility internally.
Own the avoidance.
Then, have the dose. Make the task significantly smaller, less intimidating, almost ridiculously easy to start. Break off the tiniest possible piece. And finally, execute today. Take immediate action on that smaller piece right now if possible, or at least before the day ends.
Don't let it linger into tomorrow.
Exactly. This ensures immediate follow-through, prevents a single missed task from snowballing into a pattern of avoidance that erodes your self-trust and momentum. It's all about maintaining forward motion, even if it's just a tiny step.
These aren't just theoretical problems. They are such common human tendencies that we all encounter, probably daily. And the antidotes are designed for immediate, practical application, making this framework incredibly robust and user-friendly for navigating those inevitable challenges on the path to greater self-awareness.
That's the goal, practical and robust.
So this clearly isn't just about a one-off effort or a short-term fix, like a 30-day challenge and then you're done. The paper frames this as a journey, a continuous evolution. And the 30-60-90 objective roadmap gives us a clear path for that sustained growth and the deeper, more integrated application of self-awareness into our lives, moving us towards real mastery over time.
Absolutely. This roadmap is cleverly designed to prevent overwhelm and ensure gradual, sustainable habit formation. It recognizes that true, deep transformation takes time and consistent effort. It's broken down into 3 distinct 30-day phases, each logically building upon the last.
Okay, walk us through the phases. What's the focus of the first 30 days?
The first phase is day 030 install. As the name suggests, this initial period is all about foundational setup, getting the system running. During this time, your main focus is to set 3 self-awareness objectives, like the ones we discussed. Run the daily task plan consistently. Track the index daily.
Set objectives, do the daily plan, track the index, get the core habits going.
Exactly. The focus here is squarely on establishing those core habits, getting familiar and comfortable with the tools, like the resets, the AAR, the index, and integrating these daily practices into your existing routine. It's about building the basic infrastructure of your self-awareness operating system, basically, learning how to use the field manual effectively day to day.
Okay, so it's about getting the system up and running, getting those initial habits formed and making them stick, building some initial consistency. What happens in the next 30 days, days 31 to 60, once we've got the basics reasonably down?
The second phase is days 31-60 Titan. Once the basics are in place and you're more consistently running your daily tasks and tracking your index, this phase is about refinement and deeper integration, making the system run better. Here, the paper suggests you increase focus resets, become quicker at catching rumination, formalize the advisory trio, make those feedback sessions a regular scheduled thing, publish weekly reflection audits, really solidify that learning loop.
Okay, so increasing the frequency or formality of some practices?
Yes, it's about building momentum, leveraging that external feedback more formally and consistently, and really embedding the learning loop so it becomes a natural, almost automatic part of your weekly rhythm. You're not just doing the practices anymore. You're actively optimizing them, making them more robust, and really leaning into the power of feedback to accelerate your growth.
So from installation to fine-tuning and optimization, making it smoother, stronger. And then how do you really scale this? How do you make it a lasting part of who you are and how you operate? Maybe even start impacting others positively with this. How do you move towards true mastery in the final 30 days?
That brings us to the final phase, days 61-90 scale. This phase is about embedding self-awareness so deeply into your broader personal and professional systems that it becomes second nature, almost effortless.
Hmm.
And it's also about potentially extending its benefits to others.
Okay, what does scaling look like in practice?
The suggestions here include actions like templatize reviews, create your own reusable formats for AARs or feedback requests, automate reminders, set up digital prompts so you don't have to rely solely on willpower, teach the model to appear. Explaining it to someone else is a great way to solidify your own understanding. Celebrate visible transformations, not theatrics.
Templatize, automate, teach, celebrate real change. That sounds like true integration.
It signifies a level of mastery where the practices are streamlined and efficient, you can rely on automated supports to maintain consistency, and you understand the model well enough to share it effectively. And that final point, emphasizing visible transformations, not theatrics, reinforces that core get wisdom principle of intention over optics. You're celebrating genuine, tangible change in results and behavior, not just putting on a show of being self-aware.
So at this stage, you're not just operating well yourself. You might be helping others operate well, too, by sharing the framework.
Potentially, yes. That's a sign of deep integration.
For you, the listener, this 30-60-90 roadmap offers such a clear, structured progression. It's not just a big, daunting goal of become self-aware. It breaks it down into manageable, progressive steps over 90 days, which really seems designed to prevent overwhelm and allow for that gradual, sustainable habit formation we talked about. It feels like a realistic blueprint for lasting change.
And to truly scale effectively, especially when you're starting out in those first 30 or 60 days, having clear, repeatable frameworks and templates is invaluable. It reduces the mental load. The paper recognizes this and provides several templates that you can essentially steal, borrow, and adapt for immediate application. This makes the implementation of these practices much easier and less daunting.
Oh, that's a huge benefit. Nothing worse than understanding a concept but then getting stuck on how to actually write it down or structure it. No need to invent the wheel or figure out the formatting.
Exactly. These templates remove that initial friction of starting from scratch, so you can jump straight into the action, into the doing.
Okay, what are some of these key templates that listeners can instantly grab and use from the white paper?
The first is a simple but effective objective template. It's structured clearly as by date, achieve metric for context, evidenced by artifact.
By date, achieve metric for context, evidence by artifact. Very smart, goal-oriented.
Exactly. It provides a clear, measurable structure for setting any goal within this framework, ensuring it's specific, time-bound, relevant context, and has verifiable proof of completion artifact. This prevents those vague, fuzzy, unachievable goals.
Okay, that's super useful for setting up the 30-day objectives. What else?
Then there's the focus reset template, which is beautifully simple. Desired outcome, one task I will complete now.
Desired outcome, arrow, one task now. That's it.
That's it. It's a simple yet incredibly powerful formula to convert that spinning, ruminating energy into immediate, focused action. It forces clarity on what you actually want, desired outcome, and the single smallest next step you can take right now to move towards it.
That one's fantastic for breaking through that analysis paralysis or overwhelm in the moment. Makes action feel much less intimidating. What about for capturing those lessons from experience?
Formalizing that crucial learning loop from your experiences, there's the reflection audit template. Unintended result, lesson, one line. New task, due date, artifact link.
Result, arrow, lesson, arrow, task with due date, arrow, artifact.
Okay. This template ensures that every significant unintended result you identify leads to a clear, concise lesson, just one line, which then immediately translates into a new task designed to prevent recurrence or improve the situation, complete with a due date and an artifact link for accountability. It's that closed-loop system for learning made into a simple structure.
It guarantees that reflection actually leads somewhere productive. And you mentioned one for groups.
Yes, finally there's a council agenda template, which is useful for structuring those advisory trio sessions or any meeting aimed at getting advice or making a decision. Context options, area risks, decision. Tasks owners do.
Context, options, risks, decision, tasks, owners, do. That covers all the bases for a productive discussion.
Right. It provides a structured framework to guide the conversation effectively, ensuring you cover the background, explore potential paths, consider downsides, reach a clear decision, and assign specific actions with accountability and timelines, rather than just talking in circles or leaving with vague agreements.
For you listening, these templates remove so much of the initial friction and guesswork. You don't have to sit there wondering how to format your objective or structure your reflection. You can just grab the template and immediately apply the principles without getting bogged down.
It's all about enabling direct action, allowing you to focus your energy on the actual work of self-awareness, not on reinventing basic structures.
Okay, this has been incredibly comprehensive. Finally, let's address some of the most common questions or points of resistance that might naturally pop up as you, the listener, start on the self-awareness journey. The paper thoughtfully includes a really concise FAQ section that's worth highlighting because it directly tackles those initial hurdles and common misconceptions people often have.
Yes, these FAQs are incredibly insightful because they anticipate and address typical challenges and psychological roadblocks right up front. The first question is one that stops so many people before they even start. Q, do I need to feel motivated first? I'll start when I feel like it.
Right, the motivation myth. What's the paper's answer?
The answer is a powerful and liberating. A, no. Act aligned, feelings catch up, start with 1 2-minute task.
Act first, feelings follow. Just start tiny.
Exactly. It fundamentally reframes that whole relationship between motivation and action. It emphasizes that you don't need to wait for inspiration or the perfect mood to strike. Action often precedes motivation. Taking action, even a tiny one, creates momentum, and that momentum often brings the motivation and positive feelings along with it. Just a single tiny brave task is enough to break the cycle of inaction and get the engine started.
That's a huge relief for anyone who struggles with getting started. So often we wait for that perfect feeling that may never arrive. Okay, what about the balance between all this thinking and reflecting and actually doing things? How do we avoid just getting stuck in our heads?
Great question. The next FAQ is Q. How do I balance introspection with action? And the answer perfectly reinforces the paper's core philosophy we keep coming back to: ship more evidence. A, every reflection must produce a task and an artifact. Thinking that doesn't ship isn't learning.
Every reflection must produce a task and an artifact. No exceptions.
That's the guardrail. It's direct. It's about ensuring that your internal insights, your reflections, your aha moments are always converted into external, tangible outcomes. A specific next step, something written down, something sent, something done. If your reflection doesn't lead to a concrete task or an artifact, something you can point to, then, according to this model, it's not truly serving the purpose of the self-awareness operating system. It might just be enjoyable rumination, but it's not productive learning that leads to change.
That's an excellent guardrail against getting stuck in endless thought loops or what some call analysis paralysis. It forces output. Okay, and finally, a very common concern. What if you set a task, you intend to do it, maybe you even have the dose, but you still don't fulfill it? What happens then?
Yes, the persistent block.
Yeah.
Q, what if I don't fulfill a task? The answer is a direct echo of the antidote for missed tasks we discussed earlier, reinforcing the core message about dealing with avoidance. A, courage check. Have the dose. Execute now. Link the artifact.
Same loop again. Courage, have, execute, link. Consistency.
Yes, the consistency is key. First, the courage check. Gently, but honestly, ask yourself what fear or resistance is really holding you back. Then, Halve the dose. Again, make the task even smaller, even more ridiculously easy to start. Maybe the first halving wasn't small enough. And critically, execute now. Take that micro step immediately. Then link the artifact document that you did it, however small.
It's about refusing to let the avoidance win, making the barrier to action almost zero, and building back trust with yourself through immediate, albeit tiny, follow-through.
Precisely. It's about maintaining momentum, proving to yourself you can act, no matter what internal resistance you feel. It keeps the system moving forward.
These answers provide such practical, actionable guidance. They really dispel common misconceptions and lower the barrier to entry, empowering you, the listener, to start your self-awareness journey right now without needing perfect conditions, without needing to feel motivated first, and without feeling like you have to have it all perfectly figured out before you even begin.
It really is about starting small, being consistent, and trusting the process.
Yeah, it's about starting where you are and consistently building from there.
So just to recap, we've explored how self-awareness, as Brent Zeeman defines it in this Get Wisdom white paper, isn't just passive introspection. It's presented as a dynamic, actionable operating system for your life.
Your personal OS.
Right. From learning to understand and inspect your unintended results as clear signals, to consciously applying those three crucial daily decision loops: what to focus on, what it means, and what you will do. And then moving into architecting clear objectives, leveraging structured feedback, using things like the advisory trio, and actively mastering your rhetoric. This framework provides a really comprehensive and incredibly pragmatic path for tangible growth.
Pragmatic is the word that keeps coming up. Very focused on action.
Exactly. The key takeaways, I think, truly lie in the power of consistency over intensity, those small, boring, repeated actions. In consciously choosing empowering meaning for your experiences rather than defaulting to negativity. And most importantly, perhaps, in translating every reflection, every insight into a brave, tangible task that you then commit to executing. This isn't just about understanding yourself better in theory. It's about actively shaping your reality through deliberate practice.
So what does all this mean for you listening right now? It means you now have a blueprint, a field manual, if you will, to not just know yourself better on some abstract level, but to operate better, more effectively, and with much more intention in your daily life.
To upgrade your operating system.
Exactly. It's about taking those small, what might seem boring, repeated actions, the daily primers, the resets, the reflections, tracking your index and trusting that they will compound over time into something truly significant and transformative. Remember that quote the paper concludes with, "It's simple but so profound. Self-awareness is earned daily. Aim your attention, choose useful meaning, and complete the next brave task. Let compounding do the loud part."
Let compounding do the loud part. I love that. Focus on the small inputs.
Yeah. So consider this as we wrap up. If your life is a story you're writing day by day, what brave task will you write into it today? Knowing that even the smallest action, when compounded consistently, can create your most impactful chapters down the road. What will you commit to right now? And perhaps more importantly, what evidence will you ship? Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Brent Zeeman's white paper on self-awareness. We genuinely hope these insights inspire you to unlock the power of your own self-awareness operating system.
And for more information, or if you want to explore working with these concepts more deeply, please feel free to contact Brent Zeeman directly. You can reach him at 972-301-2878. That's 972-301-2878. Or via email at getwisdomprinciple@gmail.com.
That's getwisdomprinciple@gmail.com. And please do be sure to check out our sponsors who make this possible at www.getwisdom.cc sponsors.
Thank you again for listening. We appreciate you spending your time with us.
We'll see you tomorrow, right back here on the Get Wisdom podcast.